All right. So here, sitting in Rossland in like the second gorgeously summery day of summer that we've had, I am hanging out with, I don't even know what last name you guys go by for the X family.
Lori Pouliot.
There we go.
The Lori Putniat
Yep.
Yeah.
family. Maybe you can go around and say hi. It's Francois.
Michelle?
Sai.
And our cameraman is Ira. So, we were talking about work-life balance, basically. Francois had just been spending time with this guy who, really modeled not getting immersed in the busyness of doing of whatever job one is about. And had this really great line, which was, what was the line? A
Human being or human working?
Yeah, being working. And it reminded me of a story from my life. So here's a story from my life. Also, sipping this magnificent espresso shot with honey that Francois made up just dissipates, which is perfect. So, some of you know me from as long ago as when I was running the Sanctum, holistic clinic and integrated learning space, or something like that. God, I don't remember that. No, it was punchier than that, but it went through a few iterations. The sub name, the Sanctum Holistic Clinic, and this was the clinic that I started before I even wrote my acupuncture licensing exam, because I thought I was capable of anything. I did pass my exam, and thus my business was viable, so that's good. The story of the Sanctum is its whole own thing, which is not what I'm talking about today. This is about the decision to end it. So, back in 2005, I injured my lumbosacral joint, very base of my spine, doing a fancy kung fu move. And from that time on, once or twice a year, the injury would flare up. It would flare up typically out of the blue, super quick, incapacitatingly. Like, I could barely hobble. Vicious sciatica and constant pain. So I went to this visioning and goal setting workshop one evening, hosted by my dear friend Jason Giel. I forget the name of the person who actually delivered the workshop. And it was all about, like, what do you want your life to look like in the future? What do you want it to be like 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? An exercise of, like, viewing your future life like you're watching a movie. Things like that. So I came away from it so in touch with myself. So, like, yes, this is who I am. This is what I want my life to be like. This will be an authentic expression. It was great. Totally fired up. I went back to Siobhan's place. We had just started dating. Maybe, I don't know, 2 months before. And my life was my work life was incredibly stressful at this point. A business deal had gone sideways, the impact of which was enormous, potentially fatal for the business. And yeah, I was super proud of, like, what I had made in terms of a business model. but it was not healthy in terms of what was like, well, just in terms of business coming through the door, because everything was an absolute bloody mess due to this upheaval that had happened. So I was doing everything I could to repair the damage from that bad deal and just keep going. So in the morning, Siobhan was gone. I went to put on my comfy sweatpants, and something went tick in my sacrum. I fell to the floor. Blinding pain. And my bloody old injury had flared up. So, cancel everything. So I was stuck at Siobhan's place until I was like able to move again. And I could theoretically have like gotten a taxi home, but wouldn't have changed anything circumstance-wise, really. And it was lovely being there. So for 3 days, I was just this. Something going on with the camera?
No.
Okay.
Is it entire?
What's going on is that it has too much mass. To pass the time, I looked at her bookshelf and found the autobiography of Krishna Das, which is called Chants of a Lifetime, C-H-A-N-T-S. It's very clever because he chants mantras and things. And Siobhan and I had met at Kirtan, which was his style of music. And Krishna Das was a huge figure in especially the early stage, but throughout our relationship. We went to see him live twice, all this. So I picked up his autobiography before going to see him and all this early on. Still, he was a big part of us already then, big part of my life, loved him, Krishna Das. And his book is full of teachings around this concept of samsara. And it really fleshes it out, and I won't be able to re-articulate it nearly as well as he does. But it's essentially getting caught up in the illusionary busyness of what we're doing, what we're working at, rather than who we are, what being human is about, what perhaps our like more unique gifts that need sharing are. Being in a relationship, all this stuff. It's the getting caught up, and samsara is seductive. It's like, if I just accomplish a bit more, then I'll have time to do all this. But the more you're in it, so you start to make more to-do lists and just become it becomes the ocean. Yeah, you forget that it can be not like that. So with 3 days of enforced, under pain of great pain, inactivity, reading this book and being helpless with my new love, it was an extremely rich time. And by the time I was literally back on my feet, I had decided to close my business. I realized how wrapped up in samsara I was, and that I could possibly have gotten through this crisis, adapted, carried on, but it was not what I wanted my life to be feeling like. And with great clarity and peace of heart, I made the decision. The most difficult moment of the whole process was the moment at the big staff meeting right before I said the news and made it real. Yeah, I did not want, just like now, to experience the impact of this business dying on the people for whom it was a part of their life. Yeah. That's all I have to say about that.